Here we go. Peace, 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 peace. What's happening? I'm Rami Salam Mel. I thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us. The new viewers, the old viewers, what's happening with you? First and foremost, I hope you all doing all right. I know this time is kind of crazy, the corona, blah, blah, blah. Do your best to stay calm, use your mind, stay healthy, wash some hands, you know what I'm saying? But don't get too stressed out. Don't get too fearful and be built up with anxiety and all of that because that's not good for us. Now let's get to the topic at hand. Sovereign citizens and Moors, Waka Flocka Raspy Rawls. All right. It's funny how things work because I stumbled onto this looking for something else. But God is the best of planners, as a wise dude once taught me. I found a clip. You're going to see in a second. When I saw the clip, I thought about the old me and how the old me really got in my feelings and my ego. Now I'm about to show them and they wrong and I'm about to. It's not about that. What it's really about is getting to the information. What's the truth? What's accurate? What's inaccurate? If my brother or my sister is saying something that's incorrect, we don't have to, you wrong, and as a Moorish American, we ain't got to do all of that. We ain't got to be boastful about it. We can just be like, yo, check this out. What you said was incorrect, and here's why. Boom, 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 and build. And correct, and uplift, and keep pushing. You know what I mean? Because the goal, the objective, the objective in this isn't to be the most conscious person ever, isn't to have all the most knowledge. It's really about freedom, you know what I mean? About liberation, about living, in peace and happiness, and being able to do what we want, you know what I mean? Within understanding. Anyways, let's get to the topic. Show you some clips. We're gonna come back. Boom, bop, and a bam.
Yeah. What's some of the stuff you do just to keep up on history? Like, what's some of the stuff you might read, or maybe YouTube channels, or where you get your game from?
I call Raspy. My brother in here. I just call Raspy. And we just kick games. Raspy to me is like the librarian. He's just like a jukebox of information.
So that's what we call building. So y'all just sit down and just chop it up. You teach
like what's the science, man?
What's the science? That type of stuff. Yeah.
Peace.
For real. Yeah.
It's a lot going on. And for me, I ain't gonna lie, man. I actually surf the internet. I can't even count. I do 2 hours out my day every day to search the truth. Like go to like Black Facts or Black Wall Street pages or Raspy Rawls pages, and you start seeing facts. Like I like defining the definition. When people
boom. So I showed you that one first because before we get to the actual sovereign citizen and more thing, I want to get to the thinking. And sometimes I realize our people, when we see someone that has a lot of information, a lot of knowledge, we just don't believe everything we say, but we kind of just give credence to, oh, they know what they're talking about. I can roll with what they say. True, I get it. It does help. However, you won't know until you look it up for yourself. If you just believe in what somebody told you, that's just what they told you. Until you look it up for yourself and read it for yourself, that's when you really know. Otherwise, it's just word of mouth, and that's how we can get mistakes, we can get inaccuracies, we can have things mixed up, lost in translation, etc., etc. All right, now let's get to the big clip.
And if you don't know who you are, anybody is subject to tell you who you ain't.
Yeah, it's a lot of people
that's why we go black, Negro,
Africans
African American.
Straight,
They're always changing us because they stripped us of our nationality, and that's the root to everything.
So you're saying people need to know who they are. So I'm just gonna throw out. It's easy. We're gonna talk about solutions and get as many as we can. But here's the problems. Some niggas, or whatever their mentality is, they just like don't care about that shit.
Because they haven't been taught.
They won't even go back to learn about the 70s or the 80s or the 90s.
They don't know the value in it. They think all they
see is
you
know what it is, man? I can't cut y'all. You know what, man? Just because you black don't mean you gotta be saved, my boy. I'm sorry. Like I'm that kind of person. Like if you grown as fuck and we giving you the truth in your face, and we saying gotta tie you down and force it on you like Exodus, it ain't for you then.
So you saying you can't take everybody with you?
Hell no. Nah.
For sure.
You ever heard that saying?
I learned the hard way.
You ever saying that, hey, you gotta let one person out the car? every car go be too heavy. Every car, all cars can't have a certain amount of weight.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? So me trying to teach people the truth, man, nigga don't get no fuck.
So
Nigga
it's
don't
You
give
shouldn't
a
get no
fuck,
fuck.
man. Nigga
Yeah.
don't give a
It
fuck.
should be that same attitude.
But it's some
'cause
niggas,
that's
we
them-
talking
that's
to the
his
niggas that
mentality.
do give a fuck.
Oh yeah,
You know what I'm
definitely.
saying? We're gonna get into the people that do give a fuck. 'Cause a lot of these niggas don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I used to be one of them niggas that don't give a fuck about. Really, I don't give a fuck about my people from the 1400s and shit, though.
But look, when you start seeing how important that is to your freedom,
That's fucked up.
and for
don't give a
but look,
fuck.
watch, when you start seeing how important it is to your freedom, then you're gonna be like, motherfucker,
What's free?
well, you not paying taxes to a cracker. Well, motherfucker, you not in their jurisdiction where they can't just come in your house and arrest you. That's
They say
free.
they been sending them niggas who been trying to do that shit back to Africa and shit.
You saying going back to
The
Africa?
sovereign citizen
Not
shit.
sovereign citizen. That's the wrong word. See,
They say they been sending them niggas.
and see, look, I'm glad you
Them niggas
mentioned
out
it. I'm glad you mentioned it because there's a lot of niggas that's fucking up the water with that. Cause like for me, nigga, it took me like 5 years because the Moors had dirted the fucking water. So it took me 5 years to figure this shit out. Like I could have figured this shit out 5 years ago. But like you said with that sovereign citizen,
Alright. Now I know it's more, oh, how could he say? Relax. Relax, man. Sometimes we get things wrong. And Raspy, it's cool. I don't know you, but it's all love. Understand this is with love. You know, we gotta understand that sometimes we get shit fucked up. Excuse my language. We're gonna be a little different here, but I gotta speak how I speak. Sometimes we be wrong. Matter of fact, let me tell you a story before I get to this shit. Back when I was young, working at FedEx, this whole crew, we having debates over this, that. It get to the topic of the biggest sport. What's the biggest sport in the world? My arrogant ass. Oh, it's football. You know what I mean? Oh, the Super Bowl, don't you? OG Jamaican cat, bumper clock, right? He telling the crew, he's like, y'all don't know what y'all talking about. It's soccer. You know what I mean? Y'all call that football, but football in the world is really soccer. That's the real big sport. And I'm talking a gang of, mind you, I'm like 19, 20, somewhere around there. Haven't you seen the Super Bowl? And didn't you see the University of Texas and the Rose Bowl and the da-da-da? And I'm just going off, right? He like, yeah, youngster. He's like, go look up the biggest soccer stadium and come back to me tomorrow. You know what I mean? Mind you, this is before smartphones like that. We didn't get it. You know what I mean? So go home, look it up. Oh, I was wrong. I was dead wrong. Football or soccer is definitely the biggest sport in the world. And it was my arrogance and my ignorance thinking that I knew and I didn't really know. You know what I mean? And off of my ego and my pride and thinking because I know things. So I'm just as arrogant as ever. Now I got this the next day. I'm coming into work knowing everybody gonna be waiting. Everybody looked it up. What I do? You can fake like, nah, man. I made a mistake. I was wrong. My fault. You right. You were correct, bro. I was in the wrong on this one. So we carry on, man. And that's how we got to be with quote-unquote consciousness or woke or this information about our history and about who we are. You know, there's a lot of different information. There's a lot of different people out there saying things. But let's get to the truth. Let's get to the real facts. And some of you guys may be watching this. Some of you people, women, you know what I mean, may be watching this and wondering, well, who is this nigga? How do I know what he talking? He don't know. Cool. I'm just showing you. You know what I mean? This is just some books and works that I've studied. Really get this one, Othello's Children, Sacred Drift, the story of the Moors in Spain, the Moriscos in Spain. I put out my own situation, Moorish Jewels, all sorts of Moorish books that I bought, you know what I'm saying? Confused about taxes, because, I was on that same thing, nationality, MSTA degrees, studying, because I was trying to get to the truth. Civics, correcting the position, the IRS, how to study, Moors and Mexicans, driver's license. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to give you real background. Got some astrology in there. This is the Quran. So we're going to get to this in a minute. This is the book than Noble Drew Ali. And if you don't know Raspy Rawls, Noble Drew Ali was the first Moor who came back to niggas, black people, African Americans, Negroes, colored folks, and told them, y'all not those labels. This is who you truly are. So for those that don't know, you know what I mean, Noble Drew Ali, if you want to look to anybody as the source, go to Noble Drew Ali first, because he was that first dude. Moorish Spain, the big dog, exhuming of a nation, oral statements and prophecies, mysteries of silent brotherhood. You can't even see the cover of this, but this is another one. Just a bunch of different speeches and just short, I don't know, I won't say essays, but short writings from Noble Drew Ali. And we're going to get into this in a second. But before I get into that, the Holy Quran, Circle 7, Raspy Rawls, Waka Flocka, anybody watching that may have this twisted and confused. Moors are not with the sovereign citizen movement. Let me get that clear. You will not find the word sovereign citizen in this book. This is the Quran, Circle 7, that Noble Drew Ali brought to us. Or any of his writings. He was never calling us sovereign citizens. Not once. And matter of fact, I'm going to show you a video of me talking about this 3 years ago. So let's get right to it. Sovereign citizens. Are Moors sovereign citizens? Are Moors connected to the sovereign citizen movement? Sovereignty, do we teach sovereignty? Are we in any way associated, connected to promoting, propagating, in any shape, form, or fashion connected with sovereign citizens, sovereignty movement, etc.? The answer, no. No. One more time. No. But I don't just want you to believe me. And I know what will motivate you, because I could tell you this over and over and over again. But I found that most people don't really like to listen. They don't really like to study either. You got to give them some incentive. So I got something for you. We call this money, you know. Those of us, we really know it's fiat and it's really nothing. It's just paper. But for you, most people watching this means something, right? So I got a challenge. Old Benjamin Franklin here. 100, quote unquote, dollars, U.S. Federal Reserve notes. 100, right here for you. So you can see. Oh, we real deal Holyfield. Yeah. I got $100 for anybody that can simply provide the evidence that Noble Drew Ali ever said we were sovereign citizens, or ever said that we are a part of a sovereign citizen movement or a sovereignty movement. If you can find Moors or sovereign citizens anywhere in my Quran, I got two for you. You know what I'm saying? Right here. You can find that anywhere in here. The $100 is yours. Anywhere. I'll take it a step. Boom. So that was 3 years ago. 30,000 views. But maybe Raspy Rawls didn't see that. We know algorithms are in play. They're putting certain information here and taking certain information. We got that. So let's answer it right now. Again, no. Moors are not with the sovereign citizen. How do I know that? Well, let's take a look. Let's go to the information, the source. I pulled up FBI.gov. We going to them peoples. See what they say. So then we can compare and contrast. You feel me? FBI, and you can just look it up. Just go to Google. What is a sovereign citizen? Or go to FBI and type in sovereign citizen in the search. It's right there. Domestic terrorism, the sovereign citizen movement. To help educate the public, blah, 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 blah. Today we look at the third threat, the sovereign citizen extremist movement. Sovereign citizens are anti-government extremists who believe that even though they physically reside in this country, they are separate or sovereign, quote unquote, from the United States. As a result, they believe they don't have to answer to any government authority, including courts, taxing entities, motor vehicle departments, or law enforcement. That's what a sovereign citizen is. Now I'm going to read something from Noble Drew Ali. the source, that main dude, prophet, a real deal prophet. Yes. And then let's listen to what he said and see if that matches to a sovereign citizen. The citizens, this is called a divine warning by the prophet for the nations. The citizens of all free national governments, according to their national constitution, are all of one family bearing one free national name. Those who fail to recognize to the free national name of their constitutional government are classed as undesirables and are subject to all inferior names and abuses and mistreatments that the citizens care to bestow upon them. And it is a sin for any group of people to violate the national constitution laws of a free national government and cling to the names and the principles that delude to slavery. I'm going to read that sentence one more time. It is a sin for any group of people to violate the national constitutional laws of a free national government. This is Noble Drew Ali. Now, this is talking about they don't have to answer to any government authority or law enforcement. But here he's talking about that it's a sin to violate the constitutional laws of a national government. That don't make sense, but let's continue. It says, I, the prophet, was prepared by the great God Allah to warn my people to repent from their sinful ways and to go back to the state of mind of their forefathers' divine and national principles, that they will be law abiders, meaning following the law, and receive their divine rights as citizens according to the free national constitution that was prepared for all free national beings. Noble Drew Ali was actually getting us back into law because we've been outside the law. So we cannot be a sovereign citizen movement because this movement is getting us back to the law. The sovereign citizen movement is saying we don't believe in your laws. We don't care about no laws. Don't jive. Now the question I want people watching this to think is, why would Raspy Rawls or why would anybody confuse the two? Why would you think that the Moors are somehow connected with sovereign citizens? That's for you to answer. I wanted to read one more though. Oh, here we go. Got this one. Yeah. They are to claim their own free national name and religion. This is continuing. There is but one issue for them to be recognized by this government and of the earth, and it comes only through the connection of the Moorish divine and national movement, which is incorporated in this government, talking about the United States. So it can't be separate, incorporated in the government, and recognized by all other nations of the world, and through it, the movement, and through it, they and their children, we can receive our divine rights unmolested by other citizens, and they can cast their free national ballots their free national ballot at the polls under the free national constitution of the state's government. Noble Drew Ali was dropping that knowledge and that science about law, civics. It's not no sovereign citizen movement. We gotta understand that. I don't want it to be. One more piece. I love my people and desire their unity and mind back to their own free national and divine standard, because day by day they have been violating the national and constitutional laws of their government by claiming names and principles that are unconstitutional, like Negro, blacks, and colors. This is what Noble Drew Ali was talking about. If Italians, Greeks, English, Chinese, Japanese, Turks, and Arabians are forced to proclaim their free national name and religion before the constitutional government of the United States of America, it is no more than right that the law should be enforced upon all other American citizens, including us. Nationality. This is what Noble Drew Ali was teaching. And just to connect it back to the Quran, because this is his writings, but just so you can connect it, in chapter 47, Egypt, the capital empire, and the dominion of Africa. It says, the time has come, line 15, the time has come that every nation must worship under his own vine and fig tree, and every tongue must confess his own. Through sin and disobedience, every nation is suffering slavery. And he's trying to redeem us from the sin, our sinful ways. Come on, man. Last thing, and then I think I'm done. Oh, I'm sorry. Here we go. Boom. That was the part I meant to read. Through sin and disobedience, every nation has suffered slavery due to the fact that they honor not the creed and principles of their forefathers. And that is why the nationality of the Moors was taken away from them in 1774, and the word Negro, black in color, was given to the Asiatics of America who were Moorish descent, because they honored not the principles of their mother and father and strayed after the gods of Europe, whom they knew nothing of. And then the next line, the end of time and fulfilling of the prophecies, says, in this one it says, come all ye Asiatic of America and hear the truth about your nationality and birthrights, because you are not Negroes. That's what Noble Drew Ali was about. And I wanted to share that, because one, Raspy Rawls, I hope that you take this information, look it up for yourself, verify it for yourself. Don't believe me. Look it up for you. Don't believe other people. Look it up for yourself. It's fucked up that it took you 5 years, of trying to get through all the mess, because it's a lot of mess. It's a lot of people who are claiming, who got the fez on, who's Islam and all of that. Yeah. But they just as dirty and just as grimy as anybody else. So don't be fooled. Anyone else watching this, don't be fooled by a fez and the nice and the polite talking and the love, truth, peace, freedom. Yes, it's scheming niggas in fezzes. Excuse my language. It's Moorish people. But you feel what I'm saying. We can't just believe what people say. Matter of fact, it says it in this book. It says don't just believe what you're told. You know what I'm saying? You gotta study and know for yourself. And so with that, I want to close out with some jewels that I seen in that episode. Matter of fact, and I want everybody to check it out. It's called Big Facts, episode 10. Shout out to DJ Scream. I'm gonna show you a clip that I thought was really powerful and something that we need to implement. You know what I mean? As Moors, quote unquote black, you feel me? Our people, we need to make this happen. I thank y'all for watching. Please study. Look up the Quran, Circle 7, the Moorish Holy Quran, Noble Drew Ali. Study all the information. Yeah. And most importantly, man, don't believe people just because they sound good when they telling you this stuff. Look it up for yourself. Verify it for yourself. Then you'll see who's being honest, who's being sincere, and who's trying to mislead you, manipulate you. Because it's definitely them people out there, COINTELPRO. And that's all I'm going to say. Much love to you.
So I started learning financial literacy. To me, I think our community got everything but financial literacy.
Because we making the money.
Bro, I had to think, right? I'm like, damn, me grown now. I'm like, damn, bills is different. These motherfuckers like 40,000 a month, 50 a month. You like, God damn. And niggas was complaining about 600 rent.
Ooh.
Nigga, hold up, we tweaking like, nigga, like 600 on a rent.
Yeah, that's 600 to everything to somebody who don't understand money though.
My point, like, bro, if you got a 4-bedroom and you only paying 700 a month, all you gotta do is times that by 12, or add $400 on it. That's your debt for the year. Now, if you had financial literacy, all the whole house had to do was knock that debt out for 1 month. Boom, now everybody living rent free. If everybody in the hood had that mind frame, it'd be a wrap. You would never buy this. You'll never do whatever you're doing before you do that.
Right. That's what though. There's another thing. You remember that? I think I sent you the book screen that Willie Lynch paper.
Making of a
slave.
slave.
Making of a slave shit. You ever read that shit?
Hey, I heard that shit was a lie though. I heard that was a myth. Like that paper was made up.
Very important that we differences. And if you were to have Muhammad, Jesus, Moses, Abraham, peace be upon them, all in the same room, they wouldn't be arguing with each other, debating each other, because they were all in the same team. They had the same message. They had the same Lord. But many times it's the people, it's us that get this message confused.
Get down with the team, Francis Greener on that other side. If you know what I mean, I'll show you. Get down with the team.
So low, studio.
You know what I mean. Get down with the team, Francis Greener on that other side. If you know what I mean, I'll show you. You been rolling solo, time to get down with the team. The great Greener on that other side. If you know what I mean.
What's up, black? You know I rep that red and green. Word to know, but you I land. 90, he back on the same. 100 years more, time to get our eyes clean. The time is now, we see it all. We seen us, and we seen the falls. If she twerking ass, that mean we falling off. Ain't no ducking when the motherfucking law involved. What I'm saying is deeper than what I'm saying, but saying won't get you to know, if you know what I'm saying. Let that simmer, run it back. I say we got a prophet and they tell me where he at. That's when I show them the Quran. Then they tell me I ain't fucking with Saddam. Silly Negro, please stop playing games, time to rise my G.
Rolling solo, time to get down with the team. The great Greener on that other side. If you know what I mean. Get down with the team. Francis Greener on that other side. If you know what I mean, I'll show you. You been rolling solo, time to get down with the team. The great Greener on that other side. If you know what I mean. Get down with the team. You know what I mean.
When I was on the pilgrimage, I had close contact with Muslims whose skin would in America be classified as white, and with Muslims who themselves would be classified as white in America. But these particular Muslims didn't call themselves white. They looked upon themselves as human beings, as part of the human family, and therefore they looked upon all other segments of the human family as part of that same family. Now, they had a different look or a different air or a different attitude than that which is reflected in the attitude of the man in America who calls himself white. So I said that if Islam had done that for them, perhaps if the white man in America would study Islam, perhaps it could do the same thing for him.
I think what a lot of people are interested in, Malcolm, is whether this experience has made you feel that your feelings have changed, that the animosity you have expressed in the past toward all whites.
There's one thing that I want to make clear. No matter how much respect, no matter how much recognition whites show toward me, as far as I'm concerned, as long as that same respect and recognition is not shown toward every one of our people in this country, it doesn't exist for me.